Good morning. Um, we're going to do things a little differently today in class. I'm recording this message to you guys on Monday, June 1st. Um, Last night in the city of Long Beach, we had one of the most disturbing uh, events in the history of not only our country, but our city. Um, I grew up in Long Beach. I gone elementary school, middle school, high school, college, all through the city of Long Beach. This is my home. This is my town. And what I saw yesterday, just I'm mad, I'm frustrated, sad, because that's not the Long Beach that I grew up in, and it's not the Long Beach I want my daughter to grow up in. I realize what transpired really came as the result of a lot of anger and frustration from much of our community that has really got the short end of the stick for a long time and has not been treated fairly. Uh, I get it. What happened in Minnesota was an abomination. There's no one that could watch that videotape and be okay with that. There was nothing to be okay with. That was just wrong. And anybody that can't, anybody that's not moved, anybody that's not does not feel anger, frustration, rage from what they saw in there, then I don't get people like that. And if you don't feel anything after watching that, and which is the reason why you know a lot of these protests were started. Um, but what I saw yesterday wasn't. It started off as protesting. A lot of the protesters were um, had every right to be out there and express their displeasure. That's part of being an American. You hear the term privilege thrown around loosely in our society. Well, one of the things that we all share, a privilege that we all have in this country, is that privilege of protection under the First Amendment and the right to free speech and the right to protest your government when things aren't going in a fair manner. We have that right to do that in our country. And that's why people from other parts of the world come to America, come to Long Beach to live in a society where you have that freedom of speech, where you have that right to express your displeasure with your government. You go to other parts of the world, those kind of protests would be met at the end of a fire hose, water cannons, or worse, bullets. You go to China, they'll run a tank over you for those kind of protests. But in our society, we have the right to protest our government. And yesterday, a fringe element took advantage of that. Took advantage of our free speech right and used it for selfish personal gain. They were opportunists. They weren't protesters. They were criminal thieves, thugs that are out to get what they could for themselves, not to better society. Yeah. That's why I went. That's why I became a teacher, to make my community better. I went to Wilson. I went through all through school in Long Beach. I took I took classes in the same classes you guys are taking, in the same classroom. When we had classes at school. um, but so I'm kind of paying it forward here by becoming a teacher and being a teacher for the last 25 years. I've really been doing this to try to help enrich the community that I live in and that I want my daughter to grow up in. But then you see things like yesterday, and man, it's just, we're just coming out of the pandemic period where things were supposed to get back to normal over the weekend. Restaurants and businesses were reopening after being closed for 3 months. We were starting to get our lives back. And then a small element of the that were latching onto the protest group, these guys are ruining it for the rest of us. You know, I want to live in a free society. I want to um, have my child live in a better community than I grew up in. I want you guys to become the elements of change for better in the future. Change can happen for good or for bad, but you guys can make it happen for the better if you choose to. Unfortunately, yesterday we saw too many people that didn't choose, they weren't choosing to make change for the better. They were just making change for themselves. And looting, rioting, burning buildings to the ground, that's not helping. That makes things worse. If you thought they took away certain rights before because of the pandemic, what do you think they're going to do now? I don't think anybody's going to look at a burned down building or a looted store and go, oh, I think they really they made a good point. I see their point of view. No, that's not how people react. But my challenge to you guys is, where do we go from here? How do we make our community and our country better, not worse? Being your government teacher, I'm encouraging you guys to register to vote if you're not already registered. Vote in all the elections you can, not just the presidential election, but vote in the local elections. Become aware of local politics and things that are going on around you, and make the choices and vote for the people that you want to make the right decisions on your behalf. Or become the people, be that person yourself, and be an element of change in your own community. You don't have to run for mayor or city council. You can just be the example that others follow throughout in your community. This is, like I said, I get the displeasure, I get the rage, and it's just, that's not the way to make things happen in a positive manner. It just isn't. And that's not the community I grew up in. That's not the community I want to live in now. I want changes to happen for the better. So, and you guys will be you are the future voters. You're the future members of our community that will lead us in the next generation. This isn't the graduation speech I was hoping you guys would hear, but it's probably the one you need to hear. We've got a tough road ahead of us, but if you guys make the right decisions and do the right thing, things can get better. You can't, instead of just throwing up your hands going, well, that's just the way it is. No, it's not just the way it is. It can be better if you want to make it better, and if you act on making it better. It can be. Like I said earlier, this is not the way I was expecting the school year to end for you or for me. This is supposed to be the fun time of the year for us all. Instead, we're doing things by video. I'm not going to edit this video at all. I'm just going to think here. When life hands you setbacks, and boy, have we had our setbacks this year. How we react and how we move forward is as important or more important than the events that are happening to you at this moment. And again, do you want to be the element of change for the better, or do you want to be element of change for worse? I hope better. If you were downtown yesterday expressing your First Amendment rights, good for you. That's, as a government teacher, who am I to say that's wrong? You are doing exactly what our founding fathers would have done in 1776, saying, hey, this is wrong. We the people are standing up, and that's what you guys are. You are the people, and your voices should be heard, but not looting, not destroying other people's livelihoods in the meantime. A friend of mine just sent me a meme or GIF or whatever. Sorry, old white guy here. The message basically was, not all cops are bad. Not all whites are racist. Not all blacks are thieves or criminals. But looters, you guys are scumbags. If you are a looter, that's just being an opportunist. That's not helping. That's causing more hurt on top of the hurt that's already out there. And Mayor Garcia went on the news yesterday and basically said, you're not welcome in our community. If you're here to loot and steal and cause mayhem, then you're not welcome in the city of Long Beach. Frankly, you're not welcome in any civil society. So, really, my message to you guys is, let's move on from here and make this a positive. Turn a negative into a positive and make it better for everybody. If you're seeing this today, June 1st, or for my classes on June 2nd, and you feel like you need to do something, go downtown. There's a number of businesses that are cleaning up today and today and tomorrow, and probably through the rest of the week, going to be cleaning up the messes made from what happened over the weekend. It doesn't have to be an organized event. Just if you're downtown and you see a store owner or some people cleaning up mess, offer them a hand. Bring some gloves down and wear your mask and offer to give them a hand. I'm sure at this time we need more of those kind of people. Like I said earlier, this wasn't how I expected the year to go, or the year to end. This whole school year has kind of gone off the rails in a number of ways. You guys were there for me when my mom passed away, and the class of 2020 was going to be special no matter what for me, and for the way you gave me support. And I want to support you guys too. That's part of the reason I became a teacher. Is again to make my community better. And I hope you guys can continue to carry that torch. All right, rant over. Now for some just nuts and bolts stuff for our class. Your next class, the next time we get together, will be your quote-unquote final exam. Don't sweat it. The chapter 24 and 25 worksheets are the last work you're going to have to do. Well, except the final is going to be a paragraph that I want you to write, and it'll come up online a little bit after the start of the class. We're gonna do one more video class next time, and after our next class, and excuse me, let me back up a little bit. Thursday for my even classes will be your final. Wednesday for the odd classes. I forgot, even classes still have one more additional class to go. So Wednesday and Thursday will be the finals for your class. You'll log on. We will meet. We'll do one more video, Google Hangout. For the 10 or 15 minutes before I post your writing prompt. It's not going to be hard. Just do it, and it's worth 100 points in the grade book. So it can only help your grade. All right. So if you're currently, as long as you are currently passing the class, you're golden. You're good right now. If you still need some points to get you over the top, then definitely log in and do that. Do the final. Again, it's a 100-point essay. So anyway, that's all I got to tell you guys right now. Do good things. Be a good person. Help your community. And make it a great day to be a Bruin. All right? Peace out.